We're in historic downtown McKinney, which is just a little bit north of Dallas, at McKinney Knittery and Downtown Dry Goods. It's half yarn shop, half fabric, and it's a huge, beautiful, bright space. Come on inside. My name is Ginger Hayes. I own McKinney Knittery in downtown historic McKinney, Texas. And this is the shop. I am wearing the DRK Everyday Sweater by Andrea Mowry. This is its maiden voyage. I just cut off the ends of the yarn from weaving it in just this morning so I can wear it today because it feels like fall finally. I used the Plucky over here in these colors. This is their Luxe Sport Weight, and they also have a Luxe Worsted. This is one of the newest yarns that we're carrying here at the shop, and we have several bases, the DK, fingering, Surrey silk and mohair silk over there. We love it. It's been very popular, and they've just been fantastic to work with. So it ends up like the last 5 projects I've made have been out of this base. I use it for a DK, I use it for fingering, I use it for a sport. I'm just loving it. So Night Owl Fibers is one of the yarns that is local to Texas. She lives in the Houston area, but we have her up as often as we can. She's a young gal that does just amazing self-striping yarns. She has some, these are all her holiday offerings down here. She's got some that are sock sets. This is a personal favorite because I can't resist pink, obviously. Some more traditional ones, but all of her stuff is fun. Self-striping, you know, about the I don't know, 3/8 inch or so stripes. And it's a lot of fun. You can just make a basic sock and get a really cool look. Alrighty, let's go for a little tour. Another local to Texas yarn is Suburban Stitcher. We've got fingering weight and a DK from her. Also her tweed, which is just beautiful. Over here, Hugh Loco, another newcomer to the shop, and she's got the backyard chicken collection, which we love. This comes with 2 little minis, so lots of possibilities there for for things you'd like to make. Great color, of course, with a name like Hugh Loco. Spin Cycle's awesome. We've got their dyed in the wool, their Dream State, their new plump, which would make a really fun, quick hat. Lots of fun. I'm a sucker for this because I love to do color work, and it shows kind of like the self-striping yarn. It does the work for you, and you get some cool effects with that. Primrose Roan DK. This is a very unique yarn. It is half superwash and half non-superwash. She claims that it is pill-proof, and I'm working on a sweater right now, so I will get that tested. Over here, we're to Magpie. And Magpie has been with us for a long time. Took us a long time to get her, and then once we finally got her, we totally embraced her. Always one of our top-selling yarns. We have 5 bases from her. Merino Cashmere Nylon is her swanky. We have in a fingering weight and a DK weight, very popular. We also have the mohair silk, the new Equinox, which I'll let Kristen talk about. And that kind of rounds us around this corner of the shop.
Hi there, I'm Kristen. I work here in the shop, and one of the things I specialize in is the social media, but I love knitting and sewing. And today I'm standing with the Magpie yarn because it's one of my favorites. It's got some cashmere in it, and the project I'm wearing, the Delightful Dots cowl, the background is the Magpie. One of our new bases in Magpie is the Equinox. It's a silk linen blend sport weight. It's a gorgeous base for garments to be worn here in Texas. The other yarn that I have in my cowl is La Bien-Aimée. And this section, we've got all of our La Bien-Aimée bases. Come on over, Melissa. Melissa's wearing a cardigan she knit out of the Corey worsted. Yep. Also wanted to show you the Camellia Fiber Co. a yarn that we have in the shop. We carry a lot of her bases. We've got the sport weight, the worsted weight. We also carry the Sari alpaca, the mohair silk, and all these samples are made with Camellia. This one up here is with the CFC Chunky, which is really fun and a quick knit.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I've been working at the store for a long time. I also teach a lot of the sweater classes. So the yarn I'm going to show you today, the first one is a Sand Nest Garn line that has been really popular for us. And right here and all on the other side is the Sand Nest Garn Double Sunday, which is a DK weight yarn, 100% wool. And if we want to come this way, this is a sweater that I made. It is the Lyon from Petite Knit, and I held regular Sunday, held double, and the regular Sunday is this way. And it is a fingering weight yarn in this cabinet right here. And then behind us, we have two more bases. We have the Mandarin Petite, which is 100% cotton fingering weight yarn. And we have the Lena, which is a linen, rayon, and cotton blend that is great for summer knits. So now we're going to move on to Quince. So right here we have the Quince & Co. Lark, which is a worsted weight base. And back here, this side is all the Quince & Co. Chickadee, and that kind of leads me into we're hosting a little knit along for the Alpine Bloom hat, and I made mine out of the Chickadee, which is a sport weight yarn. As you can see, there are a ton of colors to pick from. It takes one skein each, so it's a really quick knit. So check Instagram for our knit along guidelines. And one more Quince base back here. This is the Osprey on the back side, and it's an Aran weight yarn. Really quick sweater knits for that too.
Hello, my name is Meredith, and I am the store manager here at McKinney Knittery in downtown Dry Goods. My sweater that I'm wearing is also the Champagne cardigan. It's knitted out of hedgehog tweedy with some silver shibui mohair. And I knit it a little bit longer to have more of a oversized cardigan. As you saw, Melissa's was a little bit shorter, so I wanted a little bit extra length. Okay, so here is what I like to call kind of your gift knitting yarns, your workhorse yarns, so to speak. We're entering the holidays. This is a great yarn for kids, for gifting. It's a great price point, and most of these, I think they're all machine washable. I'm currently 8 months pregnant, so this has kind of been my focus area, knitting baby stuff. But we have Cascade 220 Superwash Merino right here in any color you can imagine. We have it in, this is kind of like a light worsted / DK yarn. We also have the Cascade Heritage, which is a fingering sock yarn. It's 75 Superwash Merino with 25% nylon. Again, every color you can imagine. Behind me, we have majority of our cotton yarns. We've got Blue Sky. They're organic cottons. They're worsted weight, and it kind of goes up. We've got some more fingering / sport weight from Amano, the NT, and then we've also got some, I think most of these are fingering / sport. We have the Quince & Co. Willet right up here, and then a few Amano bases. This is the Chosky, which is a superwash merino wool, Pima cotton and linen blend. And then we also have the Awa, which is, it's got some baby alpaca in it with some merino wool and cotton as well. Also, this is our hat forest. It kind of moves around the shop right now. It's hanging out back here, but you know, I think we're entering hat season here in Texas, hopefully. So we kind of have that on display back here. And then right behind us, we've got Big Bad Wool Weepaka. This is another great baby yarn. It's got 50% machine washable merino with alpaca. And then we've also got, oh, that's worsted weight. We also have Malabrigo. This is great price point for someone who wants a hand-dyed yarn. We carry their mohair, their sock, all the way up to chunky, the bulky Rasta, and then the Rios, which is super popular, worsted weight. It's if you wanted a hand-dye yarn, but perhaps it's not in your budget to spend on a super expensive hand-dyed skein, this is a great option.
We are transitioning a little bit from the yarn side to the fabric side. The fabric side of the business is called Downtown Dry Goods. It was added when we moved to this location in July of 2020. On this little A-frame is Merchant and Mills fabric from England. Most of it is 100% European linen. It's wonderful. It's wider than the typical cotton fabric, and it feels great. It's excellent for garments, but we find other ways to use it too. And then moving over here, this is the area that I'm probably most proud of and that our customers love. It's a dedicated area for sitting and knitting. Sure, we could fill it up with yarn and fabric, but we really foster a community here, and this area is used a lot. Up above, I don't know if you can see, it used to be an old skylight. Would have loved for that to have still been in place, but because of the hail and the rain here, it's just not a good idea. So a long time ago, they closed that over, so we tried to play it up, making it kind of look like a porch, and we hung a light here. And it is not uncommon for extra chairs to be pulled up into this area for people to knit. We have regular knit-togethers Monday through Thursday until 8 o'clock at night. We're open 7 days a week, and it is very rare to see this area with nobody knitting.
Hi, I'm Betsy. I've been with Ginger at McKinney Knittery and Downtown Dry Goods for 3 years. When I came on, it was about the same time we brought the fabric on. We're real proud of our collection. It's mostly Civil War reproduction, which is one of Ginger's great loves. And Ginger and I actually met working at a quilt store many years ago. So I do have a background of quilting and can certainly help out on this side, but I also love the yarn side, and I've been knitting for many years, so this is a perfect place for me. I just love working here. We feature a lot of different patterns, quilting, bags. We're big on bags. I think Kristen mentioned that she likes to make bags, and she's kind of our bag lady. We have the garment patterns as well that are unique. You won't find those at your typical big box store, so those are great for our customers. And I think that's really about it. We really enjoy the fabric side and feature different activities, bag making classes, and we just had a quilt making class. Oh, this is our cutting table, and if you were to come in and say you wanted 3 yards of a certain fabric or whatever for building your quilt, this is where we would cut it for you. I think we carry a great selection of fabrics. It just covers the range, and we do have some modern quilters that come in, and even though these are reproductions from the Civil War, some will work in your modern quilt. It'd be kind of a nice change up.
I'm Jill, and I've been with McKinney Knittery for a couple of years now, and I teach the embroidery classes and work in the shop. And so this is kind of our embroidery section. We have a lot of it focuses on the Sue Spargo wool applique quilts, and this kind of shows some of the embroidery here, but we have her full line of Eleganza, which is a pearl cotton, and we also have her Alana. We also carry the Weeks Dye Works wool for the quilting, and we have the Weeks Dye Works floss for regular embroidery. I've been embroidering since I was a little girl when my grandmother taught me, and it's just been something that I've really loved for a long time. Got into quilting and a little bit of knitting and we're looking forward to the new lane book that has embroidery on knits, so that maybe we can incorporate that onto some of our knitting as well.
Downtown McKinney is such a cute place. There are so many shops and restaurants, but right now I am in desperate need for some coffee, so we're gonna walk a couple blocks down and get some. All along the way, you're gonna notice these adorable little fairy doors. This is an initiative that they're doing downtown. They paired businesses up with local artists, and they created all of these adorable little doors. All right, let's go. So I got an orange sweater latte, which is one of their seasonal ones. It has brown sugar and orange bitters, and I got a quiche, and Kent got a pumpkin spice latte, I think, right? And now we're gonna head back over to McKinney and sit and knit for a little bit. I am sitting down with Ginger, the owner of McKinney Knittery, and we're gonna get to know a little bit more about the history of the store. So this is not your original location.
Correct.
Is it your third?
This is our fourth location.
Fourth. Okay,
Yes.
so walk us through, tell us like when did McKinney Knittery get started, what year, and then kind of walk us through how you got to this space.
Okay. We first opened in 2015, the beginning of the year, in a boutique mall here in downtown McKinney. It was the only way that I could justify starting a yarn business with very little knitting experience. I was working at a quilt shop at the time. We had moved up here. I needed some knitting needles because every so often I would pick up knitting, and I couldn't find a place that was close. And I had always wanted to open a quilt shop, but when I needed the knitting needles and there was already a shop downtown, I thought, oh, it didn't take me long to make that leap to maybe we need a yarn store. So it was at a boutique mall. I didn't have to be there to run the cash register or anything, and I wasn't exposed for being a fraud in yarn world. So we had 7.5 feet of wall space was all. And I brought in a few things, not really knowing what I was doing. I'd go on the weekends, and if anything had sold, I'd restock. And I kept growing in that space. So we looked at our first independent space it was a little less than 2 years after we started there. And that one was a big jump because then we needed a point of sale system and we needed to be there. It was a great space. It was about 550 square feet, including a closet and a bathroom.
I think that's the one that I first came to then.
Could be. So it didn't take us long in that space to realize that we could use a little more space. Mm-hmm. So we moved closer to the downtown. All the shops were in downtown McKinney. Moved a little bit closer and thought that we would never be able to fill that space. Well, less than 2 years later, we moved into this space. So all of them have been just a little bit bigger. This one is the biggest by far, and this one required a renovation. This building was built in 1899, 1900 or so, and it had been stuck in the 60s. The drop ceiling with acoustic tile, fluorescent lights, 3 or 4 layers of flooring, the stick-down carpet squares, which the landlord, he couldn't understand why I wanted to take those out. He said they're in great shape, but they were really ugly.
And this floor is original then?
Yes,
That's
correct.
So cool.
Correct. So his family bought this property when he was a kid, and so he knew the condition of the floors. I asked him, I assumed that there would be wood floor in a building of this age, and he said, oh yeah, there's a wood floor down there, but he said it's ugly, you won't want to use it. But now he brings people by to show them how beautiful the floor is.
That's so cool. Yeah, you've really opened it up and just made it an incredible space. And you were sharing with us that when you first moved in here, did you have both like halves? Because wasn't this 2 storefronts?
At some point it was, but when we took over the space, it was open like this. It didn't have the openness up front of the windows. It more than half of it was closed in, either with brick or coverings over the windows. So that made a big difference. We got approval from the Texas Historical, actually we got a design from the Texas Historical Commission for what the building probably would have looked like when it was new. And we worked with the city and did our best to bring it back to what it would have looked like. So I really feel like it was an improvement for the street, for downtown, and it just looks more authentic being in a historic district.
It's absolutely beautiful. The last time I was here, the front wasn't opened up, like all the windows and stuff, and just coming in here, it's incredible. It looks so good.
We do love it. Our only problem now is we usually get to this point where there's more yarn that we want to bring in than we have space. And so then rather than not get the yarn, we just find a bigger space. But we are determined to make this one work. There is rumblings amongst those of us here that, boy, wouldn't a second floor be nice? Because there's no second story here. But my husband is very quick to say, and I'm pretty sure the building owner would say the same thing. And we probably couldn't get the approval from the city anyways, but it's fun to think about.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I believe in you. You are always finding new and unique ways, so that would be fun.
We have talked about like bungee cords from the ceiling to pull baskets down.
Like one of those, like the Murphy beds that come from the ceiling that it lowers down with like yarn hanging from it.
Or the laundromat things where things move and you just stand.
I've never seen that before. That would be epic. That would be so cool.
Don't hold your breath. We're trying to refine our offerings and stay with it. We're always bringing in new things. So unfortunately, that means some things need to go. But that's just kind of the nature of retail and styles.
Yeah.
When we were over at Church Street, the little one, the only base that sold well for us was fingering weight. That was in the time of the Find Your Fades, and also with our climate, the fingering weight made a lot of sense. But now fingering has dropped down. People are making more sweaters, heavier yarns. So it's kind of fun to see how the trends and the patterns change and influence the yarns that we carry.
Definitely. So tell me about some of the community things that you do here. I know we talked about that you have this space that we're sitting in right now. People can come in at any time and knit or crochet. And then what other things do you have? Do you have classes? Are there events like with Downtown McKinney? What do you have going on?
So by far our best used space in the shop is this seating area. Friendships have been formed. People will come in sometimes in the morning, meet new people, go to lunch, come back and knit a little bit in the afternoon. It's a great space. And we have everything from people that want to learn to knit to people that are very, very advanced. And there's just a fostering community here of helping each other. It makes me happy to walk by and see some people that just met, and one of them is teaching the other one something. Plus, it adds to a lot of project lists because you see it's I want to make that and I want to make that. We also have classes. We've got 2 classroom spaces, and everything from knitting, crocheting, stitching, sewing, punch needle, lots of classes.
Embroidery, I think, right?
Yes, embroidery. So that space is pretty well used. But on Fridays, when this place is hopping with people sitting here knitting, people sitting at the table in the kitchen area knitting, we've got a group that likes to knit in one of the classrooms. So we try to not offer classes on Fridays, so that is available for them. And then in downtown McKinney, there are 3 major events that the streets are shut down, and there's vendors and there's food and music. Plus smaller events, there's wine walks and beer crawls, and now they've added a coffee crawl that's been very popular. There's a lot going on downtown. So it's parking can be a little bit of a challenge, but once you've got a spot, there's a lot that you can take advantage of while you're downtown.
Yeah, I always like to park in the parking lot behind you, because there's plenty of space. We actually were able to park our van back there with no problem. There's a big long spot, which was great. So what is the best way to, if you're not in McKinney, Texas, what's the best way to connect with y'all and follow everything that you have here? Do you have an online store so that, if we see something that we like, we can grab it?
Yes. Well, I think I said earlier, we're open we are open 7 days a week. That would be awesome. 7 days a week. and late on Monday through Thursday until 8 o'clock. So that catches a lot of people. The downtown's hopping on the weekends, so of course we've got to be open on both Saturday and Sunday. Almost all of our products are available online, and we ship fast. We hear all the time, it's like, I can't believe how fast this got here. So we do try to ship the same day that we get the order, usually within an hour or two, and it goes USPS priority. So, 1 to 3 days, depending on where it's going in the country.
I ordered my Rhinebeck sweater yarn, I think, from y'all last year, and it did get there very fast. It was great.
When you're starting a new project, you don't want to wait.
You don't. You want to get your yarn and get started.
Yeah, you got that enthusiasm.
Ginger, thank you so much for letting us come in here today. It's been so fun. It was cool to meet a big majority of your staff and get to know everyone. It's just such a lovely, big, huge, open, beautiful space and such a cool community.
Well, thank you.